Hi everybody, Miss Roberts here. I'm sorry I'm a bit of a mess today, but I have spent the majority of my day in my crawl space getting rid of water because it won't stop raining. So it's been a really long morning, but I did want to take some time and stop and read with you. So I apologize for looking crazy, but if I keep crawling in the crawl space, there isn't any point in cleaning up because you keep going into the dirty place. Then you'd have to keep showering and showering and showering and showering. So here I am, a mess, waiting till I'm done crawling in my crawl space. But we are starting book 7, Sunset of the Sabertooth. And we are starting with our prologue. Prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to the places in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. But we know all this. But it's still a good refresher each time. Jack and Annie visited dinosaurs, knights, an Egyptian queen, pirates, ninjas, and the Amazon rainforest. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan was a magical librarian. She traveled through time and space, gathering books for King Arthur's library. On their 5th adventure in the Night of the Ninjas, Jack and Annie found a little mouse in the treehouse. Annie named their new friend Peanut. Jack and Annie also found a note from Morgan. The note told them that she was under a spell. To free her, Jack and Annie must find 4 special things. They found the first thing in old Japan, and the second in the Amazon rainforest. Now Jack and Annie and Peanut are about to set out in a search for the 3rd thing, in Sunset of the Sabertooth. Chapter 1, The M Things. Let's go to the treehouse, said Annie. She and Jack were passing the Frog Creek woods on their way home from their swimming class at the Y. No, I want to go home and change out of my bathing suit, said Jack. Oh, that'll take too long, said Annie. Don't you want to save Morgan as soon as possible? Of course, said Jack. Then come on, before the sun sets, said Annie. She darted into the woods. Jack sighed. He gave up on the idea of changing out of his bathing suit. He pushed his glasses into place. He followed Annie into the Frog Creek woods. The warm air smelled fresh and green. He moved through the patches of sunlight and shadow. Soon he came to a small clearing. He looked up. There it was, the magic treehouse in the tallest tree in the woods. Hurry, called Annie. She was climbing the rope ladder up the treehouse. Jack grabbed the ladder. He started up after her. Finally, they reached the treehouse. Squeak! A mouse sat on the windowsill. Hi, Peanut, cried Annie. Jack patted the tiny head. Sorry, we didn't come sooner, Annie said, but we had to go to our swimming lesson. Squeak! What happened while we were gone? Asked Annie, looking around the treehouse. Jack stared at the large M carved into the wooden floor. On the M were the moonstone and a mango, the special things they'd found on their last 2 journeys. Hey, guess what, said Jack. Moonstone and mango start with the letter M, just like Morgan. You're right, said Annie. I bet all 4 things start with an M, said Jack. Right, said Annie. I wonder where we'll go find the next one. Jack and Annie stared at the stacks of books in the treehouse. Books on the Amazon rainforest, ninjas, pirates, mummies, knights, and dinosaurs. All of them were closed. Only one book lay open in the corner. We're just about to find out, said Jack. They walked over to the open book. They looked at the page and the book was open, too. It showed a picture of rocks and snow. Wow, said Annie, running her finger over the picture. I love snow. I wish we could go there right now. Wait, said Jack. We're not prepared. Then he had another thought. And we're wearing bathing suits. Stop! Oops, said Annie. Too late. The wind started to blow. The leaves started to shake. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster, then everything was silent. It was silent as the falling snow. Chapter 2, Bones. Jack and Annie and Peanut looked outside. Snow was falling from the gray sky. The tree house was in the tallest tree in the grove of tall bare trees. The grove was on a wide white plain. Beyond the plain were high rocky cliffs. I'm cold, said Annie. Her teeth chattered. She wrapped her towel tightly around her. Squeak! Peanut sounded cold too. Poor mouse, said Annie. I'll put you into Jack's pocket. I'll put you into Jack's pack. You'll be warmer there. Annie slipped Peanut into the pocket of the backpack. And we have to go home, said Jack. We need warmer clothes. We can't go home, said Annie. We can't find the Pennsylvania book. Not until our mission's complete. Remember? That's the way the magic works. Oh, right, said Jack. He looked around and there was no sign of the Pennsylvania book that always took them home. Annie peered out the window again. Where are we anyway? She asked. I'll find out, said Jack. He picked up the open book and read the title on the cover. Life in the Ice Age. Ice Age, said Annie. No wonder we're cold. We'd better find the M thing soon, said Jack, before we freeze to death. Look, whispered Annie. People! She pointed out the window. Jack saw them too. 4 figures on the cliff. 2 big figures and 2 little ones, all holding spears. Who are they? Said Annie. I'll look in the book, said Jack. He found a picture of some people. He read at the caption to Annie. Early modern humans were called Cro-Maggons. During the late Ice Age in Europe, they sometimes lived in caves beneath cliffs. Why are they carrying spears? Said Annie. Jack turned the page. He found another picture of Cro-Maggons. He read aloud, the Cro-Magnon family often hunted together. They covered deep pits with branches, then they drove reindeer and mammoths into the traps. Oh, trapping the animals. That's sad, said Annie. No, it's not, said Jack. We couldn't live without hunting. They didn't have supermarkets, you know. They couldn't live without hunting. They didn't have supermarkets, you know. They watched the family disappear over the other side of the cliff. Come on, I'm freezing, said Jack. Let's hurry and find the M thing while the Cro-Maggons are hunting. But I want to meet them, said Annie. Forget it, said Jack. They don't have books that tell them about us. They'll think we're some enemy and hurl their spears. Yikes, said Annie. Jack put the book away. Squeak! Peanut peeked out of the backpack. Stay in there, said Annie. Jack pulled on his pack and started down the rope ladder. Annie followed. On the icy ground, they huddled together. The wind was biting. Jack put on his towel over his head. Snow blew against his glasses. Hey, Jack, said Annie. Look at me. Annie had put on her swimming goggles. Now I can see, she said. Good thinking, said Jack. Now cover your head with your towel. Most of your body heat is lost through your head. Annie wrapped her towel around her head. We should find a cave or someplace warmer, said Jack. I bet there are caves in those cliffs, said Annie. She and Jack started across the white plain. The snow wasn't deep yet, but the wind was blowing hard. I told you, Annie said, pointing at an opening in the rocks, a cave. They ran to it. Careful, said Jack. They stepped carefully into the shadowy cave. It was only slightly warmer inside, but at least the wind wasn't blowing. In the gray light, they stamped the snow off their sneakers. Annie took off her goggles. It smells in here, said Jack. Yeah, like wet dogs, said Annie. Let me see what I can find out, said Jack. He pulled out the Ice Age book. I'll look around, said Annie. Maybe the M thing is here. Then we can go home and get warm. Jack stood by the entrance so he could read the book. His cave is filled with sticks, Annie said. What? Oh, this cave is filled with sticks, Annie said. What? Said Jack. He didn't look up from the book. No, wait. I think they're bones, said Annie. Bones? Echoed Jack. Yeah, lots of them back here, all over the floor. Jack turned the pages of his book. He found a picture of a cave filled with bones. I hear something, said Annie. Jack read the writing below the picture of the cave. It said, the great cave bears of the Ice Age were over 8 feet tall. These bears were larger and fiercer than today's grizzlies. Their caves were filled with the bones of their ancestors. Eek. Annie, whispered Jack, get back here now. They were in the cave of a great cave bear. Eek. And we are going to have to find out what happens in the cave in the next chapter, chapter 3, tomorrow. Thank you again for reading with me. I love having this time with you, even when my life is crazy and I am dirty and gross. I am still loving sitting here and reading with you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and yours is not as crazy as mine. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully looking more like myself. Bye.